Good morning folks, how are you? Hope you're all okay. Part 2 of this build. Now, just to get a couple of things out of the way before we start, bit of a sour note really. I had a guy last who commented on the last one saying, well, just moaning basically that, you know, there was no sign of the kit parts until, was it 4 minutes 30 seconds or something in to the build. Well, I just wish sometimes you can see it on other people's stuff as well, you know, after you've watched their videos. I just wish people would watch the video and take in what people are saying, because I explained that when I first started this and this idea, I wanted to go from what I do, as in research and get everything ready for a build, and then when we get onto the bench I'll talk the way through what I'm going to be using and why and what. And I mean, I think the video was about 50 minutes long, something like that, and 4 minutes out of that, you know, I think it's just pathetic to moan or pick at that. So the wonderful thing is, and which I swore I would never use even if it pissed me off immensely, is the block button. But you know what, life's too short and I really cannot be arsed with, you know, people picking at silly, pathetic things, you know. So at the end of the day, there's a fast forward, you don't have to watch it, you can flick on or whatever, you know. If just one person watches it, then I'm quite happy with that. I'm doing it because I want to, and so hopefully I can give something back to guys that are just starting the hobby or are interested in this kit, all manner of things. So that's basically the sour note really out the way, so that's done. So last time we only did a little bit because of, obviously I wanted to explain through what we'd be using. So we got to here, which was step 1, and we completed that, which is here in a little tub is there, so it doesn't look much. And going over it and that, there's a few bits that I could do with cleaning up on it first before we added any paint or anything, but to be fair, I think a lot of this isn't going to be seen, so don't think we've got to worry too much about that. Now I'm going to try and do it with the instructions there, because I think if you can see what part I'm on, it helps you on the way through. I've also just recently purchased these. I've explained in other videos that I like trying different stuff, and I know that a few people have said that these are very good, so I just want to give them a go. E-models had them in, so I've got a couple just to see what they're worth, so I might try them on this build depending on, you know, because I don't think there is all that many decals, but yeah, we should give them a go anyway. So they will be used hopefully. So we're back here with the second part, so I'll now just take the tops off everything so it's all ready. The things off your pliers and your stuff and your tweezers and bits like the caps, always worth keeping them and keeping them on your tools because you look after them, so I always put them up the corner and all together out the way so I know where they are. I've brought in for these next few parts, which are quite fiddly bits, I think, well, Tamiya do a pair like this, which are like really pointy, but these are actually Master Tools ones, I think for about the same price, to be honest. But so that will get, I mean, these are good and my favourites because they're very comfortable, but these I think will just get a bit closer than, you know, if needs be. So sanders are all ready. I give them a clean off before we started last time, so let's get ready. So I've got the sprues all on the side here, which I hope I will need for this bit. There's also, because we're doing the US version, just down here, there's a bit of Photo-etch, so it'll be the first time I'm using Photo-etch in this build as well. All the other areas I don't think there is, but we're doing the US version, so it's the light green bit there. So there we go. So let's get this all stuck ready. Right, so we're after, which is A1, which is here. So we're after, if we get the two big parts done first, so if we go F28 and F34. So how's everybody been, guys? Anyway, I hope you're all okay. It's quite hard to sort of talk and work really, you know, because I'm so used to working with my tablet on and watching YouTube videos, you know, it's quite weird having to talk literally to myself in a way. So F28, and just so you know guys as well, for some reason last couple of days I've started to have the shakes quite bad, and I don't know, I don't know what it is, but I'm not going to bore you with the details, but for some reason I keep shaking. So if you do see me shaking, then I haven't got a problem, I haven't got an alcohol problem or anything like that, because I don't drink, but you know, so yeah. Right, I'm waffling now, a load of bollocks. Right, F28 and F34, so we just check that those two will fit together. Go together like that. Now we haven't cleaned these bits up, of course. There we go. Yeah, they need to be cleaned really for them to fit properly. Yeah, I don't like bits where it doesn't tell you on the instructions if you need to, you know, if you need to clean them up or not, or get rid of bits. Yeah, it doesn't seem too good. Let's give that a sand instead. So yeah, the weekend just gone. Wow, it was a good weekend. I went to the football on the Saturday, which we won, and then I watched the boxing at night time, which was well, morning time here. It was about 10 to 5 in the morning. They started to do the ring walk. Tyson Fury, oh brilliant! I mean, you've got to appreciate Wilder for what he is, a good boxer and that, you know, and he's always got that punch that will finish the deal, you know, but straight away. But you know, Tyson Fury was brilliant. He really fought well, and it was good to see. So G33 we need, which I believe is there, a tiny little bit, so be careful that doesn't fly off. So it's there. So G33 goes into G27, so that's that bit there. Let's have a look what it looks like first, because sometimes if you cut the nib, you need to, what I'd recommend guys is, if you're new to whatever, even the experience, sometimes, I know I've done it a few times, instead of just looking where you got this side where the numbers are, always look behind as well, because it might show you where, it might give you a cutting guidance to where you need to cut. A few times I've sort of cut it just from the front, and I've taken like the connection tab off or something, so it becomes a bit of a pain in the arse to cut. So and then we need G16, which is for the clamp, which is there. I mean, sometimes you'll probably see me not doing it sometimes, which is bloody sod's law, you know, now I've said to do it. So I always give the parts a bit of a clean up if you can, even if you don't think they're going to be seen. It's always good to give them a bit of a clean up, and just to double check what the parts look like and everything on the instructions, because like this bit here already, G16, that has come like that, but it's got a nib on the end, so we need to take that nib off. It's like the dragon nibs. You can always tell when you've done a dragon kit, because you've got all the little plastic nibs and everything on the bottom. Now these smaller bits are obviously quite hard to handle, because I've got big hands, big chunky hands, which are a pain in the ass, especially for model making. So so just try and get the sanders in there as best you can. I mean, I've got some metal thin jeweler's files which I use for the Photo-etch, which you can use for plastic, you know, not a problem at all. I know a lot of people do use the metal files and save the money instead of buying these ones, because they, you know, they probably last a hell of a lot longer. But I've got a couple of different parts on purpose, so you know you can use them. Right, so I'm going to use these tweezers, which are pointy endy ones. Okay, let's just put this up here. I'm just going to change the lighting, guys, just to see if it's any better for you. Let's try and zoom in a tad. There we go. out a bit actually. There we are. Right, okay. So I always say, so these little bits here, it shows that G33 goes on to G27. So let's have a look at what G27 looks like when you haven't got the part down. God, this is small. Right, so I think that's how it goes, and then G33 is supposed to just sink into that. So if you have a look, if you're not too sure how it goes, if you can have a look on other bits of the instructions, see if you can see the bit there already made, and it might help you out of what it actually looks like. But there isn't anything really that you can see all that well. So now it might be easier actually if, right, now I think I'm going to stick this together, which is F28 and F34 together. Now that's better, they fit a lot more better now together, now I've cleaned them up. Although saying that, yeah, there you go. So hang on a minute, what are we doing here? Okay, so that's weird. Is it supposed to have a gap like that? I don't know. No, I don't think so. Anyway, that doesn't fit properly, so we need to do a bit of work on that. I wonder why that is. Yeah. Oh, hang on a minute, I know why. Am I doing it the wrong way, like a pillock? I bet you am, aren't I? No, I'm doing it right. Oh, okay, that's weird. This bit doesn't want to fit. That rhymes. This bit doesn't want to fit. Right. So that goes in there, perfect. Now why is that not working? There. I know why. I know why. Because there is two little nibs on the end there that need to come off. So hopefully now that will be fit properly. Let's try it again. See, it's always worth, you know, attempting to dry fit, because you don't want to stick glue on and then it fits perfect now. Look, brilliant. That's what we needed. So I used the extra thin, what's it called? The straight, you know, where it sticks straight away, the quick setting stuff, sorry, on a part like that, because I can see it all fits right. So I'm just going to stick a bit of the immediate cement in, because then you haven't got to faff around waiting for it to dry. So that's that done. Right, okay. So you need to measure the part up with the other bits just so they don't look out of place. Now what my idea was because this bit here is going to be a bit of a fiddly bit to connect G33 to 27, I think if I do it this way, if it works this way of course, now that's the way I think it's supposed to go, and it's apparently supposed to sit there, which it does. Oh yeah, that's good, it does actually sit there, he says. Sorry guys, fingers are in the way, but this bit's a bit fiddly, doesn't want to fit. There you go, I think that's worked. Just dab it with a bit of glue. Now another little tip you could do is, if the bit looks like it should fit, if you do it with the green, this one, that can work as a bonder, but it can also debond stuff as well for you. So, and also because it melts the plastic a bit better. So what you could do is add a bit of that and then just fiddle with the bit until it fits in, because it'll be the plastic that's melting for it to fit in. It's a bit hard to explain to you because like that now it hasn't gone in at all. So It's a right ball like that, Asda, so that's not gone in. So what we need to do is, well, it's not very good, is it? It's a bit wonky. Wonky donkey. Let's take it off again. Let's have a go. Let's have a look. Oops. Okay, so see, so that's stuck now. It's going to be a bit of a pain to get off. So if I put some of the extra thin, normal extra thin in, and just let it work for a minute, if you watch, there you go, look, it comes undone perfect. It's good to see, it's a good little debonder as well. Now then, we want to see why that suddenly wasn't working. So that'll do. Right, it doesn't fit great, but it'll do for now. Right, so, and then this annoying little bit is supposed to go onto that bit there. So if we had a bit there, and then if you just add that, drop that into it there. Again, it doesn't look very safe. It doesn't look right. Let's just see some of these bits. I mean, if you go use this one, it does allow you to play around with the bit for the part for a little bit. So, you know, you can just be careful if you're getting any fingerprints though with the glue already. I mean, that's not a great start, is it? It doesn't seem to look. Looks a bit weird, that does. Right, anyway, we've done what it says to do. So, right, where are we? So, we've done that bit, that bit, that bit, and that bit. And we've got this, the hook that goes onto here. So, G16, so it goes in that way, I believe. See, there's no pictures of it again anywhere where you can see where it looks like or what it should be like. So I don't know how far that hook needs to go in. Does it need to go in all the way? Yeah, that's the only thing. Sometimes these instructions are quite vague and it's almost like they're leaving to you sort of guessing. Right, so there we can see the part there, and it looks like it does need to go in quite a bit of the way. See, so it always helps to check, look further in on your instructions, because it can always help to see what you can, you know, see the part if you're not too sure about it. So, but now of course that doesn't want to go in that far. So what we can do is, if we just get our scalpel and just twist it in and just use it as though it's a bit of a screwdriver and see if that's worked. We will. Goes in that way. It's still not play. Oh, it is. There you go. It's playing ball now. So push it in, and there we go. That's done. That's that well fitted that I don't need a piece of any glue on that. Okay, so that's that bit. Then we need C35 and two C35s. So here's this sprue 35. There we go. So we've got two of them. But again, what does the part look like? Because you don't want to cut off too much. So there we go. It goes down to there. And then that bit, there you go. So turn it over, you can see where it's supposed to come off. There we are. yeah, I mean, I will say, guys, I mean, I'm not overly excited about doing this build video, to be fair. My mojo's a bit all over the place. One day I'm alright, next day I can't be arsed, blah blah blah, you know the story. And I just wish I could get my mojo, so I wanted to build every single day, you know. And that, as I see a lot of people doing. But I just can't for some reason. My mind just doesn't want it some days. But I suppose in a way, that's your, well, it's a hobby, isn't it? You know, not every day you want to do it. So, but I seem to struggle though a lot more than a lot of other people do, really. Well, it seems anyway. I'm sure other people. Now, which way do they go in? So that goes in there where the frame is. So you can see that there. So that's supposed to go into there, so let's just give it a dry fit first, and yes it does. So what we can do, use a bit of the instant. So yeah, and with it being like my first sort of build along, I think perhaps I should have done what a few others have done and perhaps start on a bit of an easier kit, really. But I mean, I've always been the same now. I seem to, no matter what I do, I always seem to jump in the deep end, which I think can help sometimes, but I think sometimes when it's like this and it's modelling, I don't think it necessarily does. I mean, when I first started modelling was years ago, and it's the usual old story of my old man. My dad came home one day. Now, I knew my dad always liked model making and stuff, because, like, you know, we used to love playing scale extric and Sabutio and Little Wars with 1/72 scale soldiers and that. And my dad came home with a 1/72 Spitfire Airfix one, you know, and it just got me hooked. I absolutely loved it, you know, so I thought brilliant, so I'll give that a go. And from there, just spiral from there, really. T3 we need. So it just, like I say, it just spiraled from there. So that's how it went. Right. So it's asking for T3 here, which is going to be a clear part, which is here. So what you can do is here is try and follow through and see if it's going to affect the build if you leave it off. I mean, you could always use liquid masking or something like that for it, but in a way you don't want to lose that clear bit. I mean, you could always paint it on after or scrape the paint off, but we just need to see now if that bit is going to be, we aren't going to be able to attach it later on if we leave it off for a bit, because it's the clear part. So we stick that in, so that's what the part looks like. So here's A1, and you can see the clear part. Or can you see the clear part? I don't know. See, again, these instructions are a bit vague again. Or it's just me being thick. Yeah, I think we perhaps might have to attach it. Well, what we can do is, we'll attach it and then we could perhaps apply a bit of masking fluid if it becomes a bit of a problem. So let's see. So we need T3. T3, which is there. Okay. So it shows you what we need to cut. You can see on the back where the part finishes, and the little connection point doesn't. Now, I used to all the time leave the clear parts out, you know, but I now try to replace them if we can into the plastic cellophane, the package or whatever. Number one, because it protects them, but number two as well, that none break off and you can't see them very well and they go walkabouts. So that's what I tend to try and do. So we need to cut that top bit off because it's a bit of it. Oop, that's a bit for the Hoover. Another date, another time. Sorry. So it's quite difficult to see this bit. So let's have a look. What I'm actually going to start doing is, guys, as well, is I'm hopefully going to bring back my monthly update videos, you know, bench update monthly videos and stuff of, you know, shout outs and what we've bought this month and, you know, what the projects are that we've been doing this month and stuff, you know, just to give it a go and see what, you know, just so we can get back into that frame of things. Right, so you can see here it's telling you it needs to be connected, but does it go underneath like this, you know, or I mean, what, it's not very helpful really, because you can't see where on any of the other ones where it actually sits. So does it supposed to sit underneath like that? So we need to do a bit more investigating. Let's have a look. Yeah, so I was going to bring back some monthly updates, you know, so we can see how we, right, there we go. It is actually hanging off upside down bit there, if you look on that there. That's it there. So it needs to be upside down. Really on part that I'm not even that halfway through and it's bloody complicated already. Bloody hell. Oh, well, we can't always have everything, can we? So with that, doing that then, I reckon we could get away with not having that on yet. I can't see any further down what it's like. I'm just thinking if you could do that then, and the glass, we can add the glass second later on. Boom, boom, boom. There. So you can't see very well at all. That's the thing I found when I did Ryefield's M1A1 Abrams with the full interior, the first one they brought out. It was great, it really was, but some of the instructions in places were a bit vague. So, you know, it was just difficult to see whether or not it is supposed to go there or it's not. So, again, it's there, and I don't think, right. So I'll tell you what we'll do, because it's where it is and hanging off, we could potentially mask it later on, so it's not going to be a massive issue if we mask it at a later date. So I'm going to actually add it and make sure it's going the right way first. That's where it's supposed to go. So yeah, what I'll do is possibly start doing the monthly updates again, just so you know, we can see what people have bought and what people have sent, if they've sent anything, and I can thank people and, you know, just all that type of stuff. Right, the other thing I want to say, guys, as well, is I'm not the fastest of builders. The building construction part is my favourite bit. I love the building, where weathering and painting I'm not particularly great at, so I don't really enjoy that too much. But it doesn't mean to say that I hate it, because I don't. It's just I prefer, I've always been a builder. I like building, so that's what I enjoy. So there you go. So I do build, so I like the building, and so I do take my time a lot of the time, because I just enjoy, find it therapeutic of doing that. and I'm sure because this is a build along, I'm sure it'll annoy you all because I'm so slow, but you know, you can fast it on if you want to. I mean, the first update was quite a while, or quite long, and I think that's what we're going to have to do if we're going to get anywhere with this kit, because as you can see, I mean, these parts as well, they're so well detailed, you know, they really are, but so fiddly as well. You can see them in between my fingers. They're very difficult to hold and clean up and bits and bobs. So yeah, there you go. Right, so those bits look okay. Now then, this is where it doesn't look very good. So I take it we've got 2 nibs on there which need to come off, and there's also a couple of ejector pin marks as well on there, but I don't think you're going to actually see that, to be fair. Now you can't get your tool in that well, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just knock the tab off with the end of my scalpel. I've had a couple of guys message me to ask me what size handle this is. Now I like this one. It's pretty it's small in my hand, but it's nice, it feels comfortable. It's got a bit of a ruler on that side, not that I ever use that part, and it's a number 3 blade, I believe, which is that bit there. And then this is I think a number 11, yeah, number 11 blade. So yeah, number 11, Luke. So that answers that question. If you do have any questions on any of my stuff or on any of my videos, if you send a message, guys, or if you look on the main description of what the, you know, on YouTube, where you have, like, you go on somebody's channel that's new and it tells you where you can put your description of what your channel is all about. Well, if you go on there, my email address is on there, so if you don't want to ask the question where everybody else can see it, then, you know, by all means message me on my email, and then we can I can try and answer it for you. I'm just trying to work out where all this goes. God, that's fiddly as hell, that bit. Bloody hell. Now I've got a feeling that bit there needs to be cut off more. So the part, oh, bollocks, so the part actually fits. Yeah, see, it's very fiddly, very fiddly. I don't think you'll be able to see it all that much, can you? So that's quite fiddly there. So now I believe, looking at the bit there, I think it's better if I do that, hold it there. No, it won't be, because that bit there is actually quite long and it's going to stick off, so you need to... Does that fit now? That does fit now, which is good. This is where a third hand could come in, really. So what I'm going to do is wipe the glue to make sure there's not much on there, and just dab around so it sort of holds it for now while we're doing that. And then slowly take your finger off, because remember, even if your hands aren't I mean, I always wash my hands every day. I wash them several times a day, because I hate any field dirt at all. So, you know, but my fingers do get a bit sticky. I think everybody's does. So like when you're holding onto the plastic so tight, you know, you take it off but you're still stuck. So that's another thing that you need to be aware of, because you can sort of get it stuck, and then the glue, because it's so runny, could actually go around your fingers and you not know about it at first. I've done that a load of times, and then suddenly, you know, and balls a piece up or something. So there you go. So let's stick this bit on now. Right, okay, that's what we're supposed to look like. Yeah, so now that bit there has to go on like so. So what we can do is, I'm going to put a bit of the other stuff on. And then what I'm going to do is actually make sure I wipe the brush, and I'm going to put some of the quick setting stuff on and take your fingers off. See, there it's stuck on my finger, so there we go. Now it's a bit wonky, but it should. Just hold it with a tweezer. There we go. So they stick like so. It's a bit of a pain though, but it does work. Right, so let's come back out again. Oh. Right, so we've done this bit now, which is A2. So we can now, I can tick that bit there because I've done A1 and A2. So that's all done. So just scribble over. I mean, a lot of guys use these, you know, fluorescent markers and that, but like I've explained in the first update, if I do pencil, if anybody ever needs to have a look at them, or needs the instructions, then I can just rub the bits out, you know. Nice hot chocolate. Sorry guys. Okay, right, so we now don't need to do A3 because we're doing the US version, which is this one at the bottom. So I'll just put a cross through there so we know what to do. Right, so here then, G14, Z12, which is your Photo-etch, G28, so it's all G we need, which I don't think I've got out. Oh, we have, yeah, right. So these bits here, just moving to the side while they're still drying or doing the thing. Pardon me. G14. Which is there. And then G15, which is there. G28, which is like the cable reel, which is there. G22, oh, hold on, sorry, G22, G22A, is it that bit? No, G22, oh there it is, really tiny bit there. And there it goes. Onto the carpet where the... I'll just put you on pause guys so I can look for this bit. Right back guys, that's the little bit there which you can barely see. Good grief. Okay, and then we need to use Photo-etch this time. So this is where we'll bring in the old bit of glue with Photo-etch. So get the glue ready and the cocktail stick ready, because what I suggest doing is first is putting this bit together before we do need the glue. Sorry, the Photo-etch bit. So I'm just going to clean these bits up first because there's no point in adding the Photo-etch bit yet because we need it to fit over this bit here. So if we just clean it. One thing as well guys, I don't know if you could help us out here. I'm also potentially thinking of, instead of having the camera here above us, is have it to sort of here so you can see a different angle. You'll see more of the bench I think, but not from the bird's eye view, you know, and I'm just wondering if that might be better perhaps in places for you guys. I don't know. Now I'm just going to clean a little bit of them ends there because I don't think it's going to affect bit that's not here. Okay, so the cable reel has gone in. So what I'm thinking of doing is let's add this bit in first. There. Let that settle. Because we now have to add this little bit, which is going to be a right ball ache to add. Right, oh bloody hell. So, let's turn that round the right way. Right, so this bit now apparently goes into here. Into there, which is going to be a right bloody arse head to do. Yes, I said arse head. So let's add that bit in there. As you can see, I've got the shakes. Oh, I hate this. It's hard to do when you've got the shakes, especially something so small. Right. So, let's add that there. Let's slowly move the tweezers away. And let's put that down there. Right. Whew. That's that bit. What a ball ache that is. Right. Now, that's been cleaned up, so if you look at the picture of which way it's supposed to go, which I believe is that way. Yep, which is that way. So what we can do is I'm going to add this around the inside of that, and then slowly pick this up if I can, if it'll let me, and then hopefully. Okay, this is weird. Well, that's strange, isn't it? Because that doesn't look like it does. It's supposed to be like that there. So that bit there, in a nutshell, is the wrong way around. Okay, so let's change that then. But it has to go in. Oh, do you know what I've probably done? I've probably fitted this bit here on the wrong way, haven't I? So before the glue gets too tight, which it already has, so let's stick a bit round the edge to try and debond it. So this is what I wanted, guys, though, is I wanted you to see mistakes that I make when I'm building it and that, because, you know, we all make mistakes when we're building and none of us are perfect. So, you know, it's good to see when people do actually make mistakes. Now then, this bit here needs to go, where are we now? So that needs to go like that. So if I put that there, because that's the way it's supposed to go, which it does, and then this bit can go in like so, and this bit here still needs to move around slightly. So if I keep it like that, I'm in, and then this should fit in like that, he says. Oh god, what a ball ache that is. Jesus, what a ball ache that part was. Right, so now I know that it's all safe and how it is. So what I should have done is first is again dry fitted it, which I didn't do first. So there's a sign of you having to dry fit. Well, you don't have to, but I've just shown you why dry fitting is worthwhile, because that wouldn't have gone in, you know. Now what I haven't done is I've made another mistake here. This bit needs to slot in there. Now what I can do, because I've not let it do it is just open it up slightly. There we go. And then put it in. So there you go. As a bishop said to the barmaid. Right. So luckily I've come away with not making any glue marks as well. So that's G14 done, G28, G22A and G15. Now we need Z12, which is Photo-etch. So here we go, we're working with Photo-etch now. So where's my thing? Right, here's my little drawer with Photo-etching. So I can see which bit's going to be. So there's the scissors strictly for Photo-etch and a fresh blade on the end. So get the part, which is over here, with the other bits. And then what we'll do is take this bit out. So it's Z12. Okay, so Z12, which is going to be, if you can see it, Z12. I hate this where you can't see something that's probably right in front of you. Z12 there. Right, okay. So Z12 is that there. So what we could do is, now it is advised you sort of cut Photo-etch on a plate or something hard, a piece of glass or something, but I haven't got that out or anywhere near it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut it here. Now Z12 is this bit here, and it says that I need to bend it. So this is like a clear that you can hold it down the Photo-etch part and you can see through which bit you're using. Don't ask me where I got it from, because I got it a couple of years ago. You can get a bigger one, I think, from what I can remember. Now the closer you get, the less cleanup that you have to do. So turn it around, hold the bit down. So it just stops the bit as well when you cut it from flying off. There we go. Now I think that's done. Yeah, so that's done because it comes straight off. Now one thing for you is you need to know about me is I hate Photo-etch with a passion. I absolutely hate it. Now there's a couple of nibs that are on the end, so what I'm going to do is get me metal sanders, so you can either use these small ones that I've got or these bigger ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that one out of them and just clean it up. So you can either hold it, I mean you've got these that can hold it with, or I've got some of the Tamiya bigger ones that I could hold it with, but I'm just going to hold it in my hand and just file it as though it's a normal piece of plastic part but with a metal thing. And now you can see that that is nice and soft, smooth, and the same on this part. Now you've got to be careful because it's got little marks where in the ends where you've got to bend it. Now I do have a Photo-etch bender, which you basically just, you know, put your bit under and tie it down. Do this bit first so you can see what it's like. Now it is handy to get a little bit of a razor, but just use this bit. So it needs to be bent. So if we just do that, so you can get your finger under it and bend it. So that's how the benders work. Or if you don't want to keep having to use that all the time, you can actually use your pliers that you've got, and then just basically just hold it on the edge like so, and then just bend it in. There you go. So you don't technically have to do that. Right, now this bit is supposed to go around that fiddly bit that we had last time, which is down here. Now it's the bits of the holes that I showed you in the Photo-etch Oh, where are we? I don't know if you'll see them, but there's like some little holes. Now they have to go over the pins there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, one bit's longer than the other, so the smallest bit goes up on top here. So before I get any super glue out or anything like that, I'm just going to just see if these will go over, which they do look like that one has anyway. So just check that they will go over, which they do. Right, so now you can get the glue out. Now we know it's going to be a bit of a fiddly job, so I don't think there's going to be any right or wrong way of doing the photo etch. You know, this is typical. My bloody, oh, what's it started to dry up for a change. Now it hasn't done this in ages, so I should just get me a bit of a pin out. It's always handy to have some like sewing pins or whatever out around, and you can just stick it in and just cleave it up. Now what I'll do is I tend to leave it in there because it'd be sticky. Right, you just need a little dab, that's all we need. Always put the top back on, because if you don't it'll dry up. Right, cocktail stick, and then what I'm going to do is figure it out which way is which again. Okay, so let's give it a bit of a touch on that bit there and a touch on that bit there. I honestly hate photo etch and I'm shit at working with it too, so I apologise straight away, guys. And that's the other thing you need to be careful of, is that you don't, I can't make my mind up if that's gone in or not. I think that's gone in. Yeah, right, so that's gone in. So what you can do is just, if you want to, is just touch it again over the top with a bit of glue, and then it's done. So there you go, that bit's held on. So I'm going to turn it over, and this is actually, I think, has it? No, it hasn't yet. Or does it want to? There we go. Yeah, it's already literally gone on. So, oh no, it hasn't. That bit's now come off. There you go. So, with that being on already, what I'm going to do is just touch it like so, and we're now done. Just clean it up a tad. There we go. It's all done. So that's that bit done. I wish the kits didn't have photo etch. I know a lot of people love photo etch, but I really detest it. Like this bit now, look. Seems to me like it's not gone on properly when it hasn't this side. So, see, now I've buggered it up because I've got the bits stuck on. I hate photo etch with a passion. Right, so stick this bit over it again. See, so really I think then I did have it sorted. Right, now it's bent a bit now, but to be honest, it's going to be underneath anyway, and a lot of that's going to get over the roads and all that type of thing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually leave the other bit underneath off, not stick it again yet. I'm going to let that properly cure first. I think that might work. What a ball ache though. Right, so we've done those bits there. Okay, so that then is going to G17. So this bit here, oh right, okay, so this bit must be this bit here, although it doesn't look like it, does it? I don't get that. So A1, which is this bit, and that's supposed to go into there, but it doesn't make sense, does it? Because what the hell? No, it doesn't make sense. So that bit is supposed to, that bit I've just done with Photo-etch is supposed to go into F24 and G7. Right, let's just see if this works. So they can go up to the side now for a minute. Now I have to be tidy, I can't have bits leaving around, so my Photo-etch tools are all up that corner so I know where they are. Right, so G17 and F24. So let's get, now you can hear the dog from next door, pain in the arse. Oh yeah, that guy that moaned was saying I don't care about your dog barking, get on with it or something. I had to laugh, you know, because I thought to myself, what a bird brain, because you haven't even read or watched the whole video, so you won't understand. Right, so that's G25 and G24. Okay, which go in together and then supposed to go into F24, which, let's get F24 out. F24. F24, which is over here. So there we go. Now this has got a little bit of flash on the edges, so just going to give them a bit of a clean up. Run the knife over them. I've got a couple of nibs that where we cut it off from, so we can just go over it till it's smooth, or there we go, all nicely. These again, these are Flory's sticks. I do like these, but I also like Flexi-File, the thinner ones. But I also like a bit of there's a couple of the UMP ones as well. They aren't bad. So I use basically a combination of them all, and I just get the ones out that I like. So I'm actually waiting for a delivery today of some new sanders from Flory, and what else was I getting? Oh yeah, a wash as well, because the clay washes are always handy to have in, you know, in case you're using like Bandai kits. I believe that Bandai kits don't like enamel thinners or stuff like that, so oh god, these bits are bloody what's it as well. So the best thing to do is use clay washes on them. I mean, you could always use, I suppose, a oil wash, but then, you know, you're going to be getting on to using enamel thinners or whatever to thin the paint. Now then, so this apparently, this, which is, what the bloody hell? Aha, right, so that bit goes like that, and then this should go, he says, no, it says it's supposed to, man, what a ball ache this bit is. G17. Right, now I believe that that's supposed to go there. Yeah, there we go. Fits in there. Just touch it with some of the instant, because then I can just take my finger off. Just position that on, so it's all nice and tidy. Now, a lot of you guys will probably have flown through these bits now and beyond. If you're following the build with me, I mean, I'm sure you're probably even enough coming to probably painting it soon. I'm so slow, but that's just me, I'm afraid. I don't rush, and I don't really have to rush at the minute because I'm not working at the minute, so, you know, for health reasons. So now what I've done is I've touched it with the instant, and that's actually gone straight through to the other side, so that wasn't a very good move, Stevie boy. And this bit in a minute is going to get lost if I don't do something with it. So, right. Oh, like that. Ha! Sorry boys and girls, let's just look for that bit again. No, the carpet monster hasn't eaten it. That makes a change. Right, so, right, my battery's dying, so I'm going to have to, once we've got this bit done, call it a day, I think, for this part. Right, this is just going to be a ball ache to do. So what I'm going to do is let's see if touch that bit. Right, so now this is going to get all fiddly. Quickly put it in and then just straighten it up a tad. Right. There we go. I do things backwards a lot of the time and make things hard for myself because I'm not the most experienced of model makers. So I do balls up an awful lot. So what I'm also going to do is, now that I've got that clamped in between my two my tweezers, it's a good part because now I can make sure it's straight, so I can move it up and down because I've used some of the extra thin, normal extra thin, and I've got it clamped. So what I can do is make sure it's straight, and then the bits on the end that are all rough I can now sand, but you've got to be sort of careful, not too pressure, or else it'll fly off somewhere and you'll lose the part for good. But you can see, so that's done. If you, I mean, you could always, I suppose, just do it with your fingers like so, but it is pretty difficult to get a hold of, especially if you've got big fingers like me. So G25 now goes onto this bit here like so. There we go. So it goes on, supposed to go on like that. So again, what I'm going to do is add a bit of normal extra thin, and then turn it around again. Let's put this on the ground. There you go. So that's all straight and part is on like that. So now what you could always do is, again, I mean, I can see a bit of a nib on the end, so I could always come back in once that's dry to glue it again and clean it up. Right, now let's go back to the bit of Photo-etch here, because we've now done that bit there, and now we need to get the part off here. We need to add onto it. You've got to be careful though, because sometimes this bit underneath might open up again. So if you're just quite cautious, there we go, is that on? Nearly. See, it's a bit of an arse. Doesn't want to go on properly, this bit doesn't. This is why I hate with a passion photo etch. Can't bloody stand it. I know it can add a lot more detail to your builds and that, but I just don't know, I hate it with a passion. Right, so let's stick this bit on here. Just wipe it over. And then over there. So that's that done. Right. Okay, so now this bit here needs to go into the bit that we've just done here. So let's turn that around like it is to make sure it looks like it is. Yeah. And then this bit, I believe, is supposed to fit in those two little notches there, which it's supposed to, and of course it's not going to properly, is it? So there we go. Oh my god, what a ball ache this is now. I'm not going to use quick setting, I'm going to use the, just touch it on a little bit there, and the capillary action will take it into down the other bit there. So there you go, that's that bit done. So that all fits in, and then, I mean, to be honest, that's taken a hell of a lot of time up that has just for those bits, but at least we've now done step 1 A, and we're now done the first page, so we can go off G17 done, F24, G24 and G25 done the part, so we can now then go on to the second page, which is then sticking all the axles and everything like that, and the crankshafts or whatever they're called, together, so you're sort of making up the rest of the bottom of it, the suspension, the bogies, and God knows whatever else. So we'll leave it there because it's been going for a while and my battery is about to die. So next time we're on page 4, step 2, which is that bit there, and then that. We'll try and get them done next time. And then what I'm going to do is so now because I've come to the end of that part, I know I've got bits here that are still a bit wet, so what I shall do is the photo etch I've taken out of the box, the actual model box, and what I shall do is put it back in the wrapper so it's nice and safe, and that will go in the tray just for that build. So these bits now, because they're still going to be pretty wet, you can either leave them on your thing if you know they're going to be safe on your bench and leave them, or you could put them in this and put it all the way with your box on, you know, to where it is, or you can cover them up. It's all up to you, but what I shall do is because they're still a bit wet, I'll leave them on there, put my tops on everything, and then that's it. So thanks guys, I'm sorry if it's boring that, but this is the things we have to do for these builds, isn't it? It's not all exciting, so but it'd be nice to see it take shape, I suppose. That's the only downside, is I'm very slow at building, but you know, I love the building process so much. So thanks again for following me and watching. I might even try and get part 3 up this weekend and do, you know, see if I could do it, because it's now Friday. So anyway guys, thanks very much. Hope you're all well, hope you all stay safe, and may the force be with you. Bye guys.